What up, YouTube? We're back working on the T5 transmission. So as you know, we replaced this T5 tailshaft housing for the one out of a GMC S15 4-cylinder with the 4-speed transmission. It is possible to use the one out of a T4, but make sure it has this bulge right here for the 5th gear. So the whole reason behind this was to relocate the shifter position on the tailshaft housing, so we wouldn't have to cut the floor on the Ranger. But right off the bat, we ran into a little issue, which we were expecting already since we've been doing a little bit of research, and it's the Speedo gear here. See, on the T5 is a bit forward, and on the T4 is a bit more towards the back. So we were thinking of just using the T5 stuff, you know, the Speedo gear and this piece here. But this piece here is a bit too long. It won't sit properly. So we had to use the stuff from the T4. Oh, and besides that, the splines are different. The red one is off of the T4 and the yellow one is off of the T5. You see how they're going in the opposite direction? So to use the T4 stuff, we had to use this, the one off of the T4. So and we did that by using something like this. This is a copper piece, which is about 1 inch in diameter. So right before cutting it, we drilled a little hole right around here, and that hole was for the locking pin, the one that locks the gear in place, so it could sit on there and lock the gear in place. So we drilled that hole, and then we cut this in half, here and here. So that little hole that we just drilled has to be 8 1/4 off of this flat surface, not the bearing piece, but this flat surface. So once we figured out where 8 1/4 was, we put that little hole. Well, we sat that little hole in place. We clamped this together with some JB weld, and we put these 2 clamps. So these 2, well, this one's holding temporarily just so the JB weld dries. So this one's going to be removed, but this one's going to stay in place. And then so that's it for the shaft. But for the gear, we had to grind these teeth down, because on the T4 they do go over the splines, but on these on the T5, I mean here, they do go over the splines, but on this T4 gear, we had to grind them down. For some reason, they don't fit over the splines, so we pretty much grind them down all the way. And now we test fitted before putting the JB weld and all that, and it does sit right where it should be. So we're just waiting for this to dry. So once that dries, we're just gonna RTV this, and this top piece, this one hasn't been RTV'd yet. So we're gonna RTV this, and put it all back together. Once all that's back together, it should be ready to go in. Another thing you have to replace on the T4 transmission is this top piece. So we got this piece out of the T5 housing, and we slapped it on here. So that's pretty much it. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.